Hey, what's up, guys? Jay Martin here. Today's story time is a pretty ridiculous one. It left me walking back home embarrassed and guilt tripped for an entire month or so by my family. So if you enjoy this one, please give it a like. I'd appreciate that. So let's jump in today's story time. So this story time takes place back when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I just got off of school. My mom picked me up, and it was only a rare few times she would pick me up after school was over. Normally, I'd take the school bus home, but when she does pick me up, that would mean I would have to go back to her office to wait for her for a few hours. Now, she worked at a bank, and I'd have to chill in her workplace till she's done working, and after that, normally we'd go home together. And I hated it, right? I'd much rather stay home, play Nintendo or whatever I did at the time. And I was just an extremely obnoxious complainer kid, right? I'd always be complaining about wanting to go home, and I was just such a complainer as a kid. But sometimes that would be fine because my mom would treat me and buy me a Happy Meal at McDonald's and like some fries and a chocolate sundae if I was a good kid, so. Anyhow, fast forward to me chilling with my mother at her office. I'm just at one of these desks, right? Where no one could see me. Usually that's where I stay while I wait. I would just use one of the computers and play pinball or mess around on paint. Those were good times. But anyways, the way this bank was set up, it was like an office type thing, right? So it was at this center, or we called it a plaza, which is like a small shopping center. And the office wasn't very large, but to get inside the office, you'd have to press this button, which was located below every desk with a computer on it. And all the pieces to the puzzle will make sense in a bit. But if you wanted to enter or exit the office space, you'd have to press this button. Obviously, only people working there could go in, but I was an exemption because I was with my mom. So, mind you, this was a bank. There's serious money being handled, and there's lots of safety protocols in regards to like entering the office and whatnot. And I remember being a kid and just watching, the people opening the vault, and there'd be a stockpile of bands, tons of cash just sitting there, and you could just smell the money. But back to why I bring up all the buttons. So there was a button to unlock the door. It was white in color, and I always enjoyed pressing it because it made this really satisfying click sound on this big, heavy duty door. And the sound of it opening, or unlocking, I should say, was really pleasing to me for some reason. I just genuinely liked pressing it, and I felt so gangster. My mom would let me press it at times, and I could control it even when I'm at the far end of the office, where no one could see me. As long as there's a desk, there's buttons everywhere, so I just felt gangster as shit. Yeah, you can come in. Yeah, you want to come in? Sure, I just pressed the button. All the employees there knew me because of my mom, and it was a pretty nice work environment, not gonna lie. They were all chill people. So there was only one main door used to go in and out. And there was another button right below the door button, which was a red button. So the white button was used for unlocking the door, and the red button was used essentially to cry for help, right? In case a robbery were to take place. Now, I wasn't dumb. I'd never press it, but it was like a shiny object, right? And from time to time, my mom's coworkers would come in and out of the office. I don't know, to do their thing or go to the restroom, whatnot. But this day in particular, it was a chill day at my mom's work, and I remember just doing my assignments for school or whatever, or at least I was pretending I was, but one of the workers went out for a break, and my mom was talking to someone, or she was probably just occupied doing something, so I wanted to be a big boy. So I pressed the button for the door so it would open, and I just wanted to do someone a favor, feel useful. And it was like, all right, great. I've done it a lot of times to the point where it was just automatic, right? So I could be playing on the computer without looking, and I can just press the button. I had a feel to it. I knew where it was. A couple minutes go by, and my mom was still busy, so I just felt like I had the obligation to press the button to unlock the door to let the guy go in. And I think you guys know where this is going. Yeah, okay. I didn't press the unlock button. I thought I did, but I didn't. Because when I pressed this button, the whole office lights shine red and blue, and a siren went off. And I'm not even joking. I shat my pants and I ducked under the desk and I saw my mom looked at me like, son, what did you do? And I just did not know what to say. I couldn't explain myself. I was like crying like a little boy. And the whole center was alarmed, right? And the bank place area was, I didn't know where the sounds were coming from. Like, since when was there loud ass hidden speakers behind the walls or something? And I didn't know that all these lights existed, but yeah, this happened for like a solid 30, maybe 40 seconds, but it felt like an eternity, you could imagine, right? So, anyways, that happened, and my mom was like, get your bag, get your stuff, and just go home. I don't want to deal with you right now. Here's a few dollars, go home. You just gotten me in a lot of trouble. There was like 5 to 8 people inside the office with us and a lot of people outside, and I just felt so bad. But I had this face of shame, and my mom's coworkers looked at me like, what the heck is wrong with this kid? And I could just feel it. Like, you could just see it in their faces. Like, they were judging me. This incident was a lot bigger than I could explain. Like, the whole shopping mall was alarmed. So yeah, I was probably crying a bit in a weird flux of emotions and embarrassment. And I knew I was getting an ass whooping that night. So I was trying to suck up all my tears. And I got the money, I got my bag, and I left. And I remember running as fast as I could to the escalator. And I ran down the escalator so I could get out of there as quick as possible. So by this time, the alarm has stopped and I was out of the area and I probably went to go pee or something. I don't know, but I didn't leave the plaza directly. I knew I did something before that, just to cool down or chill for a bit. Maybe I got food. I was always eating when I was stressed out before. But what I do know is that 5 minutes after the incident happened, I was about to leave the plaza, finally, and police cars were outside and I saw a bunch of policemen armed with shotguns, and my jaws just dropped as they were walking towards me. I was living in Hong Kong at the time, so, these Chinese policemen, freakishly tall. To be fair, I was a kid, so maybe everyone was just tall. But they were all shouting in Cantonese, sounding all violent, like they weren't messing around. And there was this interviewer guy with them, like a news reporter, something like that. And I was like, what? I was just dumbfounded and I froze. Like, are they gonna come at me? But they walked past me, which was a relief. And I equate this to like, when you're driving and you're just flooring it, going as fast as possible, and you see a police car and you drastically just slow down and you drive like a normal person and you start checking yourself like, do I have my seatbelt on? That. And then when the police car leaves, you find out it isn't you. A minute later, you go back to, that was what I felt. So I was good. I made my way to the bus station, but on my bus ride home, I was just banging my head against the window, thinking about how screwed I was going to be. Sad I couldn't get my Happy Meal for the day, and yeah, it was sad, man. Had to really think deep and come up with a nice and sincere apology for Mom during dinner that evening. Oh, and yeah, they were checked. The office was checked, and they all had to be interviewed, and the whole thing had to be documented. But just gave it some time between me and my mom. Time heals, as they say. But more of the story, guys. Be careful with buttons, I guess. Specifically, ones that are red in color. But yeah, that's it for today's story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a like and subscribe if you did. But till then, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace and love.